680's Chris McCusker joins us now. Chris, what a volatile week it's been on the markets.
Yes, a lot of days this week, Francis, with ups and downs. Today, though, was not one of those days. Today, it was just down. So, at the end of the week, the TSX was the big loser in North America on a percentage basis, off by 1.3%. The Dow and the S&P now looking at the worst quarter since 2011. The Dow off by almost 9%, the S&P down almost 11%. And then for the NASDAQ, the worst quarter since 2009, off by 14%. And really the same issues today, but today some new data from China, which did disappoint. It's obviously got investors a little bit spooked. I went to Bruce Campbell, the president at Campbell Lee & Ross Investment Management, and I asked him what might get things turned around.
The primary concern is a slowdown in global growth. So now you had weak Chinese data and you had a little bit weak European data. So it was almost always everybody thought all you just needed was some easing of tension on trade and things would rise. So that would help. You certainly are technically oversold.
So getting the U.S.-China trade issues sorted out, I guess, would be priority one as it stands right now.
No kidding. So we heard from Melissa there how Canada Goose has found itself right in the middle of this tension here between China and Canada. How's their stock price doing?
Not good today. It was down by 4.6%. And it's sort of interesting that, potentially politics a factor here. Melissa did mention that what the company said was that it's related to construction and not this ongoing drama between Canada and China after the CFO from Huawei was arrested. However, since her arrest, the stock has dropped more than 20%. And having said that, it's still up by 75% year to date.
Well, we're right in the middle of the holiday shopping season, Chris, and there are some alarming numbers that say Canadians are increasingly spending more than they're making.
That's right. New data from StatsCan, and something to think about as you go shopping. The amount Canadians owe relative to their income ticked up higher in the third quarter. That was even as the pace of borrowing continued to slow. So the way it all breaks down is that Canadians owed nearly $1.78 in credit market debt, which includes consumer credit, mortgage and non-mortgage loans, for every dollar of household disposable income in the third quarter. Now, the total amount borrowed hit $18.3 billion, down from $20 billion in the second quarter. One economist says a weaker income backdrop is getting at least some of the blame, so that potentially could create a headwind as far as the Canadian economy is concerned. Incomes overall, wage growth, that's something the Bank of Canada watches very, very closely. We have seen 5 interest rate hikes since the summer of 2017, so that's prompted the big banks to follow suit. As it stands right now, there has been talk about an interest rate increase in January, though there's been some sort of backpedaling, let's say, or some backtracking because of the collapse in crude prices. So only a 10% chance of a hike in January, a 38% chance of a hike in March, and then a 53% chance in April, although, of course, this is subject to change.
Right. And by the way, I don't want you going in debt, so no need to get me anything for the holidays this year, okay?
Okay. All right. I'll give you a high five.
Try that. That's fine. But it turns out so many of us are doing our shopping online, but not necessarily using a traditional computer.
Came from Salesforce, and it's actually from last month, so it's very up to date. The data collected around Black Friday and Cyber Monday. As an example, mobile traffic hit 59% during Cyber Week. So 59% of the sales, let's say, that happened during Cyber Week happened on a phone. Mobile sales in Canada are now the #1 go-to for ordering online, and that's exceeding all other devices for the first time. So this data perhaps offers some insight to retailers. Mobile, and I am also told by Salesforce, social media, great ways to connect with customers.
I'll be honest, I did a lot of my Christmas shopping on my iPad this year using some apps. It's fantastic, really easy.
Yeah, it is easy. You don't have to brush your teeth or anything.
That's right. Chris, have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. Nice to see you again.
You too. Take care.